Okay, looks like we're live.
Awesome. Welcome to Database Administration Core Competency, Chapter 9. Next. Packages are stored libraries in a database. They are schema-level objects, similar to functions and procedures, and the same rules apply to tables, views, and SQL data types also apply to packages. Next. A subroutine is the process code within a package. For example, you're a manager in charge of hiring and firing employees. If you, the manager, are the package, then your subroutines are the ability to hire and fire an employee. Next. A forward referencing stub is when you provide a procedure or function, name and parameters before you use them. For example, procedure second is declared as a forward referencing stub before procedure first. Then the procedure first runs and calls procedure second, and then procedure second runs. Without the forward referencing stub, procedure first wouldn't be able to call procedure second and would raise an exception error stating second is not declared in the scope, and the statement would be ignored. Next. Overloading is when you create more than one function or procedure with the same identifier but different signatures. For example, you cannot overload a function by changing the parameters, names, and changing the return data type does not alter its unique signature. In order to alter the unique signature, you need to change the data types of the parameters. As shown in the example, the highlighted parameters have been changed. When can you overload? You can overload functions or procedures that are defined and implemented in the package specifications. You can't overload functions or procedures that are defined and implemented in the package body. How does it work? Well, when you call an overload, you also call the parameters you're looking for. The runtime engine will identify the sequence and data types and return the matching procedure or function. Next.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about package specification. And as an overview, the package specification publishes available functions and procedures. And in order to view those functions and procedures, we use the SQL plus describe command, and that will list the functions and procedures within the package. Now, what it won't do is list the variables and data types. Those are not visible using the describe command of a package. You actually have to go look at the column level data to get that information. Also, the package specification is where you will provide any pragma instructions for package level functions and procedures. And the package specification information is recorded in the user arguments, all arguments, and DBA arguments catalog views. So talking about package variables, in a lot of ways, they're similar to variables we've been using in anonymous and named block programs. They're declared the exact same way. And package variables are not hidden inside the black box that's created when we make our specification. Shared variables. So when using shared variables, packages should be declared as serially reusable. And that's a bit of a change because the default behavior for a package is to be declared as non-serially reusable. So when we are using these shared variables, we do need to make sure that the package is declared as serially reusable. And I have an example down here of creating a shared variables package. Well, it's named shared variables, creating that package specification. So inside this package specification comes right out of the book. We declare a constant and we declare a variable here. And then down below, we make a change to this variable and then we write out the result here. Now, understanding package data types. There are two general types of data types within a package, static and dynamic types. They take the form of structures, collections, reference cursors, and cursors. And the difference between them is they're dynamic when their declaration anchors their type in a row or column definition using this row type attribute. And they're static when they rely on explicitly declared SQL data types. I have examples here, date, integer, number, varchar2. So that's how we can differentiate between those two. Now, PL SQL record and collection types that you declare in a package specification as a formal parameter or function return data type in a named PL SQL block. That's something that you can't do in regular SQL statements, though. So that gives us an advantage when we're dealing with packages. And then when it comes to package subroutines, we're talking about components in a package. So our components are our functions and our procedures. And unlike schema level functions and procedures, they are forward reference stubs. And so Cassandra already explained what forward reference stubs are and how they work. But basically, they're used to define the namespace for a function or procedure and their respective signatures. And one difference between the function and the procedure is that functions also define their return types. So down below, I have an example of each of those. The first is a function named a function, and you see here it's a number, and we specify the return type as being a number, whereas the procedure, named a procedure, we don't have to specify the return type here. So one other thing of note that the book mentioned is that in these particular examples, the first parameter is assigned a default, which makes them optional. So if there is a default value assigned, those are optional, but just kind of an FYI there. And so that's the end of what Cassandra and I had to present tonight. Our other team member, Aaron, was not able to make it due to a work conflict, but stay tuned for part 2. We appreciate you all watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you.